Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a Sri Krishna Chaitanya book compilation by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on December 24th, 2020 in Sri Mayapur, India.
Pangalang Ayatayam Yatithatanan Mande Sriyam Dinathaninam Paramanandamadamam Sri Chaitanya Islam Harihiyam Tat Sat.
Today we will continue with the compilation of the Sri Krishna Chaitanya book. Today's chapter is entitled as Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya resolves to teach Vedanta Sutra to Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila.
প্রভুকে নিমন্ত্রণ গোসাইর স্থানে আচার্য কইল আগমন ভট্টাচার্যের নামে তারে কইল নিমন্ত্রণ.
According to the instructions of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Gopinath Acharya went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and invited him on the Bhattacharya's behalf.
মুকুন্দ ও গোপীনাথের ভট্টাচার্যের বিরুদ্ধে অভিযোগ. মুকুন্দ সহিত কহে ভট্টাচার্যের কথা ভট্টাচার্যের নিন্দা করে মনে পায়া ব্যথা.
The Bhattacharya's statements were discussed before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gopinath Acharya and Mukunda Datta disapproved of the Bhattacharya's statements because they caused mental pain.
প্রভু কর্তৃক ভট্টাচার্যকে সম্মান দান শুনি মহাপ্রভু কহে ঐচ্ছে মত ক আমা প্রতি ভট্টাচার্যের হয় অনুগ্রহ.
Hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Do not speak like that. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has shown great affection and mercy towards me."
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would see even a slight good quality in anyone.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would see even the slight good quality in anyone.
So he appreciated the service that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had offered.
So he appreciated the service that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had offered.
Even though his devotee thought that some of his statements were very caustic.
Even though he is not a devotee, he thought some of his statements were very caustic.
But Lord Chaitanya told them not to speak like that.
But Lord Chaitanya told them not to speak like that.
He appreciated the affection and mercy that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has shown him.
So he appreciated the affection and mercy that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had shown him.
আমার সন্ন্যাস ধর্ম চাহে ন রাখিতে বাৎসল্যে করুণা করেন কি দোষ ইহাতে.
Out of paternal affection for me, he wants to protect me and see that I follow the regulative principles of a sannyasi. What fault is there in this?
Lord Chaitanya, who was appreciating the sentiments of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
So Lord Chaitanya, he was appreciating the sentiments of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Chaitanya Charita Mahakavya, I will have him who is with a very peaceful heart constantly hear the Vedanta and put him on the path of liberation with a sense of renunciation and fixation on knowledge of Brahman. Chaitanya Mangal.
পুনরপি সংস্কার করু আপনার বেদান্ত শিখিয়া করু আশ্রম আচার।
Again, he would perform his own samsara.
Again, he would perform his own samskara,
His process.
this process. Again, he should
He would teach Vedanta and perform the duties of his ashram.
He would teach Vedanta and perform the duties of his ashrama. Again, he should perform this process.
No.
সন্ন্যাসীর ধর্ম নহে কীর্তন নর্তন বেদান্ত আমার ঠাঁই করুক শ্রবণ।
To sing and dance is not the duty of a sannyasi.
To sing and dance is not a duty of a sannyasi.
And hear my explanation of Vedanta.
Instead, you should hear my explanation on Vedanta. Chaitanya Charita Mahakavya. Understanding what was in Sarvabhauma's mind, the Lord, with sweet face like a blossoming lotus, spreading radiant mercy over the three worlds, laughed internally with a restless heart. With effulgence greater than the strong hot sun, with face attractive as the moon, the Lord, with great pleasure, went to Sarvabhauma's house with the devotees dedicated to his feet. Chaitanya Mangal.
চম্বিতে মুচকি হাসিয়া গোরাপহ অবিরল ধারে যেন বরিখয়ে মোহ।
Suddenly, Lord Gaura appeared in that assembly,
Suddenly, Lord Gaura appeared in that assembly,
smiling.
smiling. Suddenly, Lord Gaura appeared in that assembly, smiling.
Lord Chaitanya was like an unending monsoon of sweetness.
Lord Chaitanya was like an unending monsoon of sweetness.
জানিয়া সকল পোহ চলিলা তথায় সার্বভৌম বসি যথা বেদান্ত পরায়।
Knowing all that had happened,
Knowing all that had happened,
Lord Chaitanya approached where Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was seated
approached where Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was seated
and reading from the Vedanta Sutra.
and reading from the Vedanta scripture,
Sutra.
Vedanta Sutra.
In other words, Lord Chaitanya knew what Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was thinking.
So, in other words, Lord Chaitanya knew what Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was thinking,
And he had his own plan.
and he has his own plan.
He went there
He went there
to listen to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya
to listen to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya
speak on the Vedanta Sutra.
speak on the Vedanta Sutra.
নিজ জনসনে সেইখানে উপনীত দেখি ভট্টাচার্য ওঠে চমকিত চিত্ত।
Lord Chaitanya, along with his associates,
Lord Chaitanya, along with his associates,
appeared there.
appeared there.
Seeing him, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya respectfully stood,
See,
his heart filled with wonder.
seeing him, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya respectfully stood, his heart filled with wonder,
His heart astonished.
or his heart astonished. Chaitanya Charitamrita.
সার্বভৌম সহ প্রভু জগন্নাথ দর্শনান্তে তৎ গৃহে গমন। আর দিন মহাপ্রভু ভট্টাচার্যর সনে আনন্দে করিলা জগন্নাথ দর্শনে।
The next morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya together visited the temple of Lord Jagannath. Both of them were in pleasant mood, very pleasant mood.
ভট্টাচার্য সঙ্গে তার মন্দিরে আইলা, প্রভুর আসনে দিয়া আপনে বসিলা।
When they entered the temple, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya offered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a seat, while he himself sat down on the floor out of due respect for a sannyasi. Chaitanya Charita Mahakavya. Seeing the Lord with his students, Sarvabhauma rose and offered repeated respects. He gave him a seat. When he was seated, he also sat. Chaitanya Mongol.
বসিতে আসন দিল সগৌরব বাণী, ঠাকুর মাগায়ে বিধি কি করিব আমি।
Speaking respectful words.
Speaking respectful words,
He offered Lord Chaitanya an asan to sit.
he offered Lord Chaitanya a asan to sit,
On asan to sit.
or on asan to sit.
Lord Chaitanya said,
Lord Chaitanya begged,
what is the proper thing for me to do?
"What is the proper thing?
What?
What is the proper thing for me to do?"
চৈতন্য মঙ্গল। তুমি সার্বভৌম ভট্টাচার্য সব জানো, অন্তর পুছিয়ে তোরে কহত বিধান।
You, Sarvabhaumacharya, know everything.
You, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, you know everything.
I ask you from my heart,
I ask you from my heart,
please teach me what is right for me.
please teach me what is right for me.
সন্ন্যাস আশ্রম ধর্ম না বুঝিয়ে আমি, সন্ন্যাস করিল বিধি বিচারহ তুমি।
Unaware of the sannyas as our duties,
Unaware of the sannyas ashram's duties,
I have somehow accepted sannyas,
I have somehow accepted sannyas.
and therefore, please teach me
Therefore, you please teach me
after considering what are the rules of sannyas.
what are
After considering
what are the rules of sannyas.
তুমি সর্বতত্ত্ববেত্তা বেদান্ত বাখান, কি বিধান আছে কিছু পড়াহ এখন।
you know all the truth.
You know all the truths.
You can explain the Vedanta.
You can explain the Vedanta.
Please tell me now,
Please tell me now,
how should I act?
how should I act?
Please teach these rules to me.
Please teach these rules to me.
তরুণ বয়সে নহে সন্ন্যাসের ধর্ম, কি বিধান আছে পুনঃ উপবিত কর্ম।
A young man should not accept the duty of sannyas.
A young man should not accept the duties of a sannyas.
Any procedure that I can
Are there any procedure that I can
accept a secretary
that again I can accept the secretariat duties?
এই বল শুনি সার্বভৌম ভট্টাচার্য, হৃদয় সংকোচ কিছু গুণয়ে আশ্চর্য।
These words Sarvabhaumacharya was
Hearing these words, somehow Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya
felt a hesitation in his heart.
felt hesitation in his heart.
He was somewhat surprised.
He was somewhat surprised.
এখনি কহিল কথা নিজ শিষ্য শনে এ কথা সকল ন্যাসি জানিল কেমনে
And then he spoke with
Immediately,
his disciples,
he spoke to his disciples,
saying the following words:
saying the following words:
How does this sannyasi know everything
How does this sannyasi knows everything
that I said?
that I said?
মনে অনুমান করি লজ্জায় পীড়িত কিছু না কহিল হিয়ায় রহিল বিস্মিত
Meaning this way, he was afflicted due to shame.
Thinking this way, he was afflicted due to shame.
He did not say anything.
He did not say anything.
His heart was filled with wonder.
His heart was filled with wonder.
আর পরদিন প্রভু সার্বভৌম ঘরে নিজ জন সঙ্গে গেলা তারে দেখিবারে
On the next day,
On the next day,
Lord Chaitanya,
Lord Chaitanya,
followed by his associates,
accompanied by his associates,
again came to the house of Sarvabhaumacharya
again came to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya
to see him.
to see him.
বেদান্ত পরায় সার্বভৌম ঘরে বসি বেদান্ত সিদ্ধান্ত প্রভু পুছে হাসি হাসি
Sarvabhaumacharya was sitting at his home,
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was sitting at his home
and teaching Vedanta.
and teaching Vedanta.
Lord Chaitanya smiling profusely
Lord Chaitanya, smiling profusely,
asked him
asked him
about the conclusions of Vedanta.
the conclusions of the Vedanta. Sri Chaitanya Charita Mahakavya, the Brahmana then spoke to the Lord politely. Your students should study Vedanta at this place. You are well qualified. Please listen, because by this the contamination in the mind will quickly disappear.
So Sarvabhaumacharya is thinking that if Lord Chaitanya and his students get Vedanta from him,
So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is thinking that Lord Chaitanya and his students should hear Vedanta from him.
thus the mind will become peaceful and life will become such.
Thus, their mind will become peaceful and their life will become success.
Lord Chaitanya replied,
But Lord Chaitanya replied, I have studied and made my students study many times with diligence. The best of Brahmanas in madness attempted to teach the Lord. Chaitanya Charitamrita.
প্রভুকে সার্বভৌমের বেদান্ত অধ্যাপন ও উপদেশ বেদান্ত পড়াইতে তবে আরম্ভ করিলা স্নেহ ভক্তি করি কিছু প্রভুরে কহিলা
He then began to instruct Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on Vedanta philosophy, and out of affection and devotion, he spoke to the Lord as follows. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Vedanta or Brahma Sutra, written by Srila Vyasadeva, is a book studied by all advanced spiritual students, especially by the sannyasis of all religious communities, sampradayas. The sannyasis must read the Vedanta Sutra to establish their final conclusions concerning Vedic knowledge. Here, of course, the Vedanta Sutra mentioned is the commentary of Shankaracharya, known as the Shari Raka Bhashya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya intended to convert Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was a Vaishnava sannyasi, into a Mayavadi sannyasi. He therefore made this arrangement to instruct him in the Vedanta Sutra according to the Shariraka commentary of Shankaracharya. All the sannyasis of the Shankara Sampradaya enjoy seriously studying the Vedanta Sutra with the Shariraka Bhashya commentary. It is said, Vedanta Vakyeshu Sadaramantaha. One should always enjoy the study of the Vedanta Sutra.
So, path of Mayavad sannyas and path of Vaishnava sannyas are completely different.
So, the path of Mayavad sannyas and the path of Vaishnava sannyas is completely different.
Because the Mayavadi sannyasis want to be merged into the Brahmajyoti.
Because the Mayavadi sannyasis want to be merged into the Brahma Jyoti.
Vaishnava sannyasis never accept merging.
The Vaishnava sannyasis never accept merging.
They prefer to engage themselves in the service, devotional service of Lord Sri Krishna.
They prefer to engage themselves in devotional service for Lord Krishna.
So, there's a big difference on the two paths.
So, there is big difference between the two paths.
One is following Jnana Yoga,
One is following Jnana Yoga,
and one is following Bhakti Yoga.
one is following Bhakti Yoga. Chaitanya Charitamrita.
বেদান্ত শ্রবণ এই সন্ন্যাসীর ধর্ম নিরন্তর কর তুমি বেদান্ত শ্রবণ.
The Bhattacharya said, hearing Vedanta philosophy is a sannyasi's main business. Therefore, without hesitation, you should study Vedanta philosophy, hearing it without cessation from a superior person.
প্রভুর দৈন প্রভু কহে মোরে তুমি করো অনুগ্রহ সেই সে কর্তব্য তুমি যেই মোরে কহ.
Lord Chaitanya replied, you are very merciful to me, and therefore I think it is my duty to obey your order.
সার্বভৌম মুখে প্রভুর 7 দিন বেদান্ত শ্রবণ ও মায়াবাদ ভাষ্য শ্রবণে অনাদার হেতু মৌনবৃত্তি 7 দিন পর্যন্ত ইচ্ছে করেন শ্রবণে ভালো মন্দ নাহি কহে বসি মাত্র শুনে.
Thus, for 7 days continually, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu listened to the Vedanta philosophy expounded by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. However, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not say anything and did not indicate whether it was right or wrong. He simply sat there and listened to the Bhattacharya.
অষ্টম দিনে সার্বভৌমের তৎকারণ জিজ্ঞাসা. অষ্টম দিবসে তারে পুছে সার্বভৌম 7 দিন করো তুমি বেদান্ত শ্রবণ.
On the 8th day, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have been listening to Vedanta philosophy from me continually for 7 days.
ভালো মন্দ নাহি কহ রহ মৌন ধরি বুঝো কি না বুঝো ইহা না জানিতে না পারি.
You have been simply listening, fixed in your silence. Since you do not say whether you think it is right or wrong, I cannot know whether you are actually understanding Vedanta philosophy or not.
প্রভুর দৈনমুখে মায়াবাদ ভাষ্যকে উপেক্ষা. প্রভু কহে মূর্খ আমি নাহি অধ্যয়ন তোমার আজ্ঞাতে মাত্র করিয়ে শ্রবণ।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, I am a fool and consequently I do not study the Vedanta Sutra. I am just trying to hear it from you because you have ordered me.
সন্ন্যাসীর ধর্ম লাগি শ্রবণ মাত্র করি, তুমি যেই অর্থ করি বুঝিতে না পারি।
Only for the sake of executing the duties of the renounced order of sannyas do I listen. Unfortunately, I cannot in the least understand the meaning you are presenting. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu presented himself as if he were a sannyasi in name only, or in other words, a number one fool. Mayavadi sannyasis in India are very much accustomed to declaring themselves Jagat Gurus, teachers of the world, although they have no information of the outside world and are limited in their experience to a small town or village, or perhaps to the country of India. Nor do such sannyasis have sufficient education. Unfortunately, at the present movement, there are many foolish sannyasis both in India and elsewhere, who simply read and study Vedic literature without understanding the purport. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was having his discussion with the Chand Kazi, the Muslim magistrate of Navadvipa, he recited a verse from the Vedic literature to the effect that the order of the sannyas is prohibited in the age of Kali. Only those who are very serious and who follow the regulative principles and study Vedic literature should accept sannyas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approved of a sannyasi's reading the Vedanta Sutra or Brahma Sutra, but he did not approve the Shariraka commentary of Shankaracharya. Indeed, he said elsewhere, Mayavadi Bhashya Shunilai Hoy Sharbonash. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila 6.169. If one hears the Shariraka Bhashya of Shankaracharya, he is doomed. Thus, a sannyasi, a transcendentalist, must read the Vedanta Sutra regularly, but should not read the Shariraka Bhashya. This is the conclusion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The real commentary on the Vedanta Sutra is Srimad Bhagavatam, Artoyam Brahma Sutranam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the original commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, written by the author himself, Srila Vyasadeva.
We can see that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is having his special mercy at Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
We can see that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu having his special mercy on Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
Listening to him for 7 days
Listening to him for 7 days
without saying anything.
without saying anything.
So the Lord has some plan.
So the Lord has some plan. Charitamrita.
আচার্যের প্রভুকে অজ্ঞজ্ঞানে মৌন ত্যাগ করিয়া প্রশ্ন করিতে আদেশ। ভট্টাচার্য কহে না বুঝি হেন জ্ঞান যার, বুঝিবার লাগি সে পুছে পুনর্বার।
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, I accept that you do not understand, yet even one who does not understand inquires about the subject matter.
তুমি শুনি শুনি রহ মৌন মাত্র ধরি, হৃদয়ে কি আছে তোমার বুঝিতে না পারি।
You are hearing again and again, yet you keep silent. I cannot understand what is actually within your mind.
Actually, Lord Chaitanya understands the Vedanta Sutra,
Actually, Lord Chaitanya understands the Vedanta Sutra,
but he cannot understand the commentary of Shankaracharya.
But he cannot understand the commentary of Shankaracharya.
So the commentary of Shankaracharya was made to bring back Buddhists to the Vedas.
The commentary of Shankaracharya was made to bring back the Buddhists to the Vedas.
And it is an impersonal philosophy.
And it is of the impersonal philosophy.
Whereas the pastime of Lord Chaitanya
Whereas the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya
is very great affection, love, and separation of personality Godhead.
he is feeling great love, affection, separation for the personality of Godhead.
Whereas the teachings of Shankaracharya lead on to the impersonal truth.
So, but the teachings of Shankaracharya teaches the impersonal truth.
The Bhagavatam describes that the Lord is realized as the impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality Godhead.
The Bhagavatam teaches the Lord is realized as impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So, how to bring up Sarvamacharya from his understanding of the absolute truth as
So
impersonal to the personal.
he has to bring up Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya from his understanding of the absolute truth from impersonal to the personal. Thus ends the chapter entitled Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya resolves to teach Vedanta Sutra to Lord Chaitanya.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.